Hello everyone, this is Dr. Finnegan, and the purpose of this video today is to talk to you a little bit about your professor's office hours. So if you viewed the video on the course outline, you will know that the professor's office hours are listed on the course outline. Some colleges also have a web page, usually under academic advisement, where the professor's office hours are listed. And sometimes they're actually called student hours. They're not called office hours, they're called student hours. Typically, the professor is going to be available anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours during the week, and those are going to be available at scheduled times, and those scheduled times are what you see on your course outline. If you are working with a learning management system, it's highly likely that the professor's office hours are also going to be listed there too. So what is the purpose of office hours? Well, office hours are when the professor must be available to you to answer questions about your coursework, maybe a paper or how to prepare for the exam or what chapters to read. Or they could be there just to advise their own advices on schedules or college policies. But the purpose is that they must be available to students to talk to them and answer these questions. So yes, if a professor's office hours are listed, you can just stop by their office and meet with them in person. Now you may have to wait because somebody else is already there. So you could always email the professor and check that they are available ahead of time. If you are online, I know for Zoom, I always put people in my waiting room before the office hours. So if somebody's there, you're going to be in the waiting room. And this is really to protect student confidentiality. If I'm discussing somebody's grade with them, I don't want you to interrupt that conversation. So you go into a waiting room before you meet with me on Zoom. And the same is true for you, right? That would protect your confidentiality too. So how long should you wait? Actually, you should wait for up to 20 minutes, okay? And vice versa, if you're going to be late, you should let the professor know. After 20 minutes, you should just leave and then email your professor with your question, and maybe you could set up another time. You shouldn't wait for an hour. That's crazy, right? Just wait for 20 minutes. If the professor is busy, then go, then leave, then come back. Now, it is possible that you cannot meet with the professor during their office hours at all. Maybe you have classes at those times. So what do you do in this scenario? Well, in my case, you can actually meet with me via appointment. So you need to email me or email your professor to set up an appointment. So to do this, you must be polite. Usually I suggest to students write in the name of the course in the subject line or maybe the topic that you want to discuss, so it's very clear. When you address your professor, if you're not sure what your professor's title is, you should write Dear Professor. If you know for sure, like in my case, you know that I am Dr. Finnegan, so you could actually write Dear Dr. Finnegan. You should not use the person's first name, okay? You should always treat this as a professional environment and address your professor correctly. Explain why you would like to meet with the professor. In this case, I wrote, I would like to meet with you to discuss my paper, or maybe you want to just ask questions about the course, but explain what you would like to meet about. Then write, unfortunately, I cannot make your office hours. Is there another day, time we can meet? So it's always considered professional and polite to actually ask the person what days and times are they available to meet. Now, some of my students, and I understand they're going for efficiency, but they will write and say, can you meet with me at 1 o'clock on Tuesday? And typically I just laugh because my calendar is full and the likelihood that I can meet with that person at that specific time is very low. but I usually just write back and ask them to suggest some other days and times. So if you are suggesting days and times, make sure there are several and think about time frames, like maybe from Tuesday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock rather than a Pacific time. And that way you're more likely to get a mutual time that you can, a mutually agreeable time that you can meet with your professor on. So that's what office hours are. That's how to set up a meeting with your professor. And I hope that when you meet with your professor, you get good feedback on how you can improve your grade for your class.